Returning now to our top story, the CFO of Huawei has been detained in Vancouver. Tyler Orton with Business in Vancouver is joining us now. And Tyler, this is kind of turning into an international conflict because China is speaking out. The U.S. wants her brought or extradited to the U.S. What's at the center of her arrest?
Well, as originally reported by the Globe and Mail, this centers much around trade sanctions against Iran. What we do know is that the United States has been scrutinized, both Huawei as well as another Chinese telecom giant, ZTE, over possible sourcing of U.S. products and then selling them to China. Or I should say, and then selling them to Iran. I'm not saying this is what is happening here, but we do know that Washington has been scrutinizing these companies over this particular issue. Right now, China's embassy in Canada says that it opposes the arrest. It's seeking clarification both from Canadian and American authorities, but answers are not forthcoming right at this moment. Worth noting, Canada, of course, has an extradition treaty with the United States, so it does make sense if Meng Wanzhou, who is making a connecting flight here in Vancouver, was arrested in Vancouver, Canadian authorities would follow through with their due diligence at this point. Canada does not, however, have an extradition treaty with China. This is where things are getting a little sticky. And as you say, Canada's caught in the middle here. It's going to be curious what works out with this particular deal because, of course, Meng Wanzhou, she's actually the daughter of the founder of Huawei as well. This has great implications for all the players involved.
And I guess bigger implications for trade going forward, as well, as things are kind of on shaky ground right now.
Well, of course, we had that trade truce that was announced between China and the United States for 90 days. This is at the G20 summit. And this really, as you say, Sonia, really puts things on shaky ground. I don't know what this means because also the CFO, she's also part of the ruling Communist Party. She's a member of that party, too. So your guess is as good as mine what shakes out in the next few days here. We do have a bail hearing set for tomorrow, though.
All right. And just quickly, BC's new climate action plan announced yesterday. What's the reaction been like from the business community?
I would call it cautiously optimistic. Business Council of BC says that they want to look through at more of the costing implications, but they are happy that Vancouver, or I should say British Columbia, looks to be a good source going forward for clean energy for international markets. The Surrey Board of Trade, they also came out and they seem to be very optimistic about this as well. They're specifically highlighting some of the incentives here for small businesses. So I would say sometimes we do get some pushback from the business community for some of these efforts here, but they seem to be for it at this point.
Fantastic. All right. Tyler Orton with Business in Vancouver joining us today. Thanks, Tyler.